never say stop bobbing your head. You never say tour when everybody knows this.
Are you doing it again?
No, we're doing it. This. I don't go back. I don't go back. Yeah, we never go back. Hello and welcome, folks, to another edition of RSF Radio. I am your host, Joe Monday, and I have a very special guest with me tonight. You might know her from her performance at EVO, and you might know her as the shitposting queen on Twitter. She might be the shitposting king. I don't know how that royal hierarchy works. I don't know. I'm not in that Illuminati, that royal family. They wouldn't let me in. But I have with me tonight Mahreen. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How about you, Joe?
I am ill. I'm sick.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
got
feel
the
it.
sniffles
It's getting a
real
lot
bad,
colder.
and it's just coming out of my face. So if I'm extra baritone today, then I mean that's just a treat for the listeners, in my opinion. They might see it that way.
Right.
However, I like to start off the show as typical with giving a little bit. I like to boost the guest. This is his first time on the show. I like to boost the guest as soon as the podcast starts, because usually people hold that off till what do you got going on? Like, what are you doing? They typically hang out for like the very end where people have tuned out to podcasts. So I throw it up right at the front. So let me ask you,
Sure.
what kind of shit you got going on? Give us the deets. What things should people pay attention to that you've got going on?
Well, I have been streaming again after my 2-year absence.
A 2-year hiatus.
Yeah. And people would just ask me, hey, do you stream? Have you ever streamed before? And inside, I feel a little bad because it's just that my really old computer is just slowing me down to the point where I can't even stream. I
mean,
dropped
it's at least a 2-year-old computer. So
4 years old, actually.
Oh, dang. Double.
Yeah, I am just extremely lazy just to buy new parts. Plus, I want to save up money for college as well, since I am in college.
Yeah. Poor college student life where
Yeah.
traveling expenses might be difficult to get a hold of, for example.
Right, most definitely. So, yeah, I'm back on streaming. I will shamelessly plug in my stream, which is www.twitch.tv/ESTMXRZ. It is ESTMXRZ.
Can you maybe explain that name to me? Have you explained that in the past, and am I being a dullard for asking that question?
No, actually, no one asked me what it is.
Why? It's such a...
It's weird,
It seems
right?
like a random consortium of letters, but there must be a reason,
Right.
unless there is no reason. It's like a rubber thing.
So, EST is an abbreviation for essentially, I believe.
I was going to say estimation, but sure.
Estimate. Actually, no, I was wrong. Estimate or established. So
Yes,
it's
established is a thing.
established. It kind of sounds like I'm making my own brand here, right? And then you have MXRZ. So I crossed out the A with an X, and then I ended with a Z. So originally, when I wasn't introduced with fighting games, I would go by Marzi. But
Okay.
since that name is in the past, I decided to leave an X on the A, and of course, established kind of sounds like a brand, but I just wanted something in there just so it can fit the character count.
No, I'm down with that. I'm down with things being established on...
Sure.
I'm totally... That's my one secret, where I don't have a tattoo, but if I did, it would... no, I don't know why I got on this topic.
I
because
kind of know what you mean, yeah.
it would be, because I have a friend who has an established 1989 on his ass. And that got me to thinking where if I were to get a tattoo, it would be my wife's name on my ass. Because I think that's funny. That seems like a very permanent thing. That's the... I didn't take that journey. I made a jump there in logic that I would have been hard to explain to the listeners at home, but that was the jump in logic there.
Sure.
So that's where I would get a tattoo. Do you have any desire for a tattoo? Weird question. Do you have any desire to get a tattoo? Welcome to RSF Radio, where we talk about Street Fighter shit. Do you want a tattoo? And if so,
and we're
what
talking
of?
about getting a tattoo on our asses.
Fat asses.
Honestly, I do want a tattoo, but at the same time, I'm a little scared
Yeah.
because of the pain and kind of contemplating to myself, like, I'm gonna have this on my body throughout my whole life. So it's, I really want something that is meaningful
Right.
and that I'll look at it and be like, damn, this is a really dope ass tattoo and I really love it. Something like that.
Or you could get it on your ass and never look at it again.
Never look at it. Just poop it out. You know
It's
what
just
I mean?
to like force that other people have to look at it. It's
Right,
more of a
most
curse
definitely.
upon everyone else than it is a blessing to you. To which, I mean, that's
Right.
that's how I take it. But no, I'm kind of with you on that. I'm a big
Most
baby,
definitely.
so I don't know. But the ass is
Right.
pretty fatty, and I've heard that like when you get
Thick.
tattoos on fatty areas, it's not as painful so much as like when you have bony
Right,
areas like your
right.
hands or your feet. Your feet is like one of the worst places because they needle right like on top of the bone, and apparently that's not a good thing.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna kind of leave your. I don't know how, like, what kind of word to put it. It would feel very irritating in a way. I don't know, especially around the bone area. And you said that if you get a tattoo in the fatty area, it's totally fine. Like, you won't feel anything.
Yeah, it's a big cushion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the right way to put it.
All right.
But yeah,
What else do you have going on though? You're getting back
Yeah,
into stream.
most definitely.
What is your stream like? Give me a pitch for your stream.
my stream is just super laid back, and I'm always, well, I wouldn't say I'm always talking to my viewers at times, because how should I put it? There were times where no one would be talking in the chat room, and I just sit there like, yep, ranked kind of sucks, but I'm gonna keep going just to practice, haha. And then no one replies, and I'm like, okay, guys, where are you guys at?
To me, and I don't know why I think about it this way, but when I think of that particular stream interaction that you've just described, because that's a thing that happens.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The camera pans from where it is straight on to like way above you, and you're like looking up at it like, hey guys, just here.
Yeah.
And, like, that's how I envision it for whatever reason. Because that is, I don't know. That is a thing that happens when you're like trying, I don't know, like what time do you stream? What's your schedule? Do you have a schedule?
So I really don't have a set schedule, but I have been streaming for 2 Saturdays straight. And that's what I aim for, because during the weekday I'm busy with school and work,
Right.
and then during the weekend I'm pretty much free. Well, I have to get my homework done before I do streaming, play Street Fighter, and all the likes.
Out of curiosity, and I don't know the answer to this question, but what are you going to school for? Can I ask that question?
Yeah, of course, no problem. I am going to school for web programming and database. And so far, it's, how should I put it? I can understand why programmers, they literally look at their computer screen for 5 hours just to try to figure out, how do I make this code work?
Right.
And I'm literally one of them at the moment, where I'm just looking at my homework and I'm trying to connect piece by piece, and then you try to troubleshoot it or work it out, and it tells you that it has multiple errors, and you're like, well, I want to throw this whole program away because this sucks. But honestly, I really like it a lot because it's worthwhile, and you're always learning something new every day in programming, because you know how technology, it changes every freaking day. So that's what I really like about being in that kind of field, is just to work with people who do, who do stress out with you,
Right.
but who do share somewhat like similar potential with you. You know what I mean?
You close to graduating?
I graduate next fall.
Oh, word. So you're at the end of it then. You're like building stuff for like finals project kind of thing.
A little bit similar to that. So since I'll be graduating fall 2019, I'll be before that I'll be doing job internships, because there's a job fair happening at my school next week.
Cool.
And I'll be attending that just to see what I can land, and of course, expanding my knowledge to see what I'm capable of in the programming field.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it is in my experience that the people who end up, or the people whose career path is like highly detailed work, such as people who build code or like build websites and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure.
It is in my experience that those people, the way that they play, tend to be like lab monsters. Are you a lab monster? Can you tell me about the frame data? Tell me about the numbers.
If you're asking me about frame data, you're the wrong person to ask, because I don't even have FAT installed on my phone.
I'm flabbergasted. My ghasts are flabbered right now.
Yeah, I'm serious. I really don't know frame data. Like when I see something that's that looks punishable, I test myself out. You know, I'm like, okay, what if I can throw a jab out here? It works. All right, I can throw a jab, but can I do like a crouching medium punch to see if it'll punish that certain move?
You do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I do it the old-fashioned way. I just like to test myself a lot to see what I can do here and there, what I can improve, and how can I execute it properly in my own way.
Yeah. Huh. I would have never guessed that.
Surprising, huh?
Yeah, I would have put you as a lab monster. I don't know why.
Yeah, honestly, one of the things I would say that I watch a lot of videos of Laura versus whoever, or let's say Akuma versus Vega.
That's a good way to learn
what they do. Yeah, most definitely. Especially since I'm not at the computer or I'm at like school on my break. I would watch videos of matchups day by day and just see, oh, like Laura can do this if Akuma does standing roundhouse, etc., etc. So that's something that I would consider myself as like a video labber, I guess. I don't know.
Wasn't that a thing? Isn't Video Lab a thing? Why am I thinking that Video Lab's a thing? I think if you Google Video Lab, that's...
I still think it's a thing because I know people that still watch videos. Of course, you know, you see a lot of people watch videos before they play in their pool or they play against some really strong player. Honestly, I don't do that. I'm just like, oh, he plays Akuma. All right, I'm gonna look out for best. Yeah, the Akuma is.
I'm gonna touch him once and he'll die because I'm Laura.
Oh my gosh, rip.
I'm gonna get that one crush counter. It's gonna be real bad for him.
Yeah.
But no, that's actually... So I think that what you've said is actually good advice, and I kind of want to expand on that idea.
For sure.
Watching just general play, high-level play. But part of that is that you have to also know what the fuck you're doing in the first place for that information to be useful. Because I feel like a lot of people get trapped by... They'll watch tons and tons of high-level play, but not actually know what the fuck they're watching, and then try to take that high-level play, like what they see in their mind as set play, into like a silver or bronze level play, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Like where at that level, it's way more important to just like watch your opponent and basically just try to read what they're attempting to do.
Most definitely.
And play their game than it is to try and force a high level game on someone who's just like, I don't know, I'm going to DP in the neutral because I picked the Ken. That's reductionist, and I hate that argument, but I hate putting Ken players that way. Not all hashtag not all Kens.
And you know, yeah, I totally agree too, because let's say that you're watching your friend play this other person in pool, in their Street Fighter 5 pool, and then you're just watching them, and you're in your head, you're like, oh, I know he's going to DP once he got knocked down. And it's so much easier just to watch someone play and be like, oh, I know he's going to do this. I know he's going to do that.
Yeah, to have those reads, yeah. As someone who has commentated like thousands of matches, you get a feel for like players and when they might be under stress. And it's weird that there's such a disconnect between when you are playing and knowing how much pressure you're applying to your opponent versus when you are watching someone apply pressure to their opponent. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I play Zangief, and sometimes I forget how scary he is.
Oh yeah, especially once you're in the corner, like he literally has.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
When Zangief has you in the corner, he's terrifying. But
Hey, I
sometimes
play
I forget.
Laura,
I'm like,
and
I got him in the corner. What do you do?
yeah,
Sorry, go
because
ahead.
no, you're good. Like I play Laura, and anytime I go against Zangief, I'm like, all right, I gotta stop throwing claps because that's bad, and that's a
Yeah.
plus for Zangief.
Mm-hmm.
And I just literally
You
crawl on the
can't
floor
clap
and
in the
cry.
neutral unless you're like super far away.
Super far away if you're building meter. That's the only thing that's one of the advantages is just to build meter far away, or of course using your EX fireball just to have closure
Right.
with your opponent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm
But
with you on that.
I just hate that matchup so much because it feels like I'm so handicapped. You know what I mean? I don't know how to put it. I just hate the matchup so much.
I think you're right. I don't think it's a terrible matchup for Laura. It's not one of her better matchups. I'll give you that.
Honestly, I think Zangief wins though. I'll probably say like 6-4 maybe. I'm not sure, but
if he does, it's marginal.
Wins.
If he does, it's
for
marginal.
sure.
Because I still like her buttons in the neutral better than Geef's, especially because Crouching Light Punch got nerfed. Especially because of that.
Yeah, and plus like her standing roundhouse is really good against
See,
I guess
I would almost disagree. It is good. I'll give you that much. And it is good for like catching a crush counter every once in a while. It gets big damage on the big boy.
Oh, for sure.
It's super easy to flex.
I
watch
totally
out
forgot
for
the
that
flex. Most definitely.
Yeah,
for sure. And plus, like, if you do, like, I know I accidentally do standing roundhouse super close and that's punishable.
Mm-hmm.
Or of course you whiff it. Like if a Zangief can have reflex and do lights SPD just because it's such a slow startup.
You play against Mike Too Strong out there, and that boy will react to a stand roundhouse.
Yeah,
best believe. To which I'll say at that point, if you see that, here's a little hint against Mike. If you see that if he's trying to like bait a normal in the neutral to whiff punish with a SPD, jump on him. I promise you it will work. Next time.
Can you say it again so I can write it down?
Yeah, write this down. And Mike, I know you're listening. Because the thing is, I've called him out on this before too, and I do it to him. But whenever he is so laser focused on that whiff punish with an SPD, that takes up so much brain power as a Geef that when you think that his good anti-air is 9-frame startup, you have a shot. You have a shot to jump in on him. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I'll duly noted.
But only when you've noticed that your opponent is laser focused on that. Sometimes they're not.
Right.
And typically you can tell that a Geef is if they're ducking in between forward and backward movements, because that means they're doing half circles in between. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I've been sidetracked with Geef. When I talk about, I get sidetracked so easy. It is so my good boy Zangief. I just have to talk about my muscle boy, my muscly boy. He's so good.
Hey, I don't blame you. He's your main. Go ahead. I don't mind.
Well, do you want to gush over Laura at all? Do you want a little space to gush over what a Laura can do?
I wish they can bring back season 2 Laura.
Let me delve deeper into that question. Why and for what reasons?
Well, especially since, we have Cammy, we got Akuma, we got Guile, we got Minette. They are extremely strong. And then you have I would say like Laura's like mid-tier. And then you have like the mid-lower tiers such as Alex, Zangief, Fong, and Chun, I believe. I'd say she's kind of mid-tier. But it's just that those characters, I want them to be buffed. Like you can leave Cammy in them as they are, but I just want the lower to mid tiers buff to the same level as the high tiers.
No, I'm with you on that. Buff Alex.
Buff Alex, yeah, for sure. Go ahead, buff Alex.
Fong.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I just don't think Street Fighter V is fair at the moment, just because when they buffed Cammy, I was like, what the freaking hell is going on with Capcom? Like, Cammy, she was already good. She was already a good character to begin with.
Mhm.
But I did not see a reason why they would buff her. Or why they would also buff Guile as well. Guile, he does very good already, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
And of course, Akuma and Minat. I can kind of see the buff for Minat just a bit, but honestly, I would rather fight against Minat than the other three.
As a Zangief, nerf her into the ground.
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. I
Please.
totally understand.
That matchup is so hard. It's
and
so
you
hard,
got Dalsum, and then you got Guile. That's a hell of a matchup, especially for us grapplers, you know?
Yeah. It is unfortunate that the top tier in this game are really good at keep away.
Mm-hmm.
Not all top tier. I'm not afraid of the Cammy matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Cammy matchup is fine with Keith, but
oh yeah, for sure, most definitely, I agree.
Man, how do you feel the Cammy matchup with Laura? What's your opinion on that?
I would probably say anytime she does the dive kick, I always think that she's just not neutral jumping, but like forward jumping, and I'm trying to anti-air, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna get punished for that, and it just goes downhill from there. But anytime I play against Cammy, it really does test my patience, because I am the type of girl to just mash whatever I can, like, get off me, you know? But anytime I play against Guile or Cammy or Dalsum, it really does test my patience, and I really do like that a lot, because I know I can go pretty ham sometime from here and there, and I would do 10 overheads nonstop.
Yeah.
I kind of like fighting against Cammy, but at the same time, it's like, please nerf this girl.
Yeah, like, what was it that they nerfed? They nerfed I think it was her crouching light kick. And when I saw that, I was like, no, her crouching light kick isn't the light kick you need to nerf. Like, tickler-wise, it's stand light kick. You want to get that one out of here.
For sure.
That one's a fucking problem. But I can empathize with that. And I understand why you would like that kind of play. Like, there's something about the slow play of knowing that once you get that one in, you're gonna need to bulldog your way in. But once you get it, and then you get like 1 or 2 reads, 2 or 3 reads, it's so satisfying. It's so hard to explain that to people who don't play grappler characters, right?
Right, and especially, like, how should I put it? Like, when you know a Cammy is gonna DP, and then you block it, you're like, oh, here we go, big boy damage,
Man,
and
time for
then
you
you
to die.
oh my god, it feels so good, because that's at the point where once you get on Cammy, now it's Cammy's turn to start guessing. You know what I mean?
It's time for her to panic. Like, that panic sets in.
It's like, pay up.
Yeah. And then you'll hear Cammy players saying, well, her pressure isn't that good. Her mix-ups aren't that good.
Bro, come on. Don't say that.
Bruh.
Like,
I have more than one Cammy mains on record.
You can go complain by the trash can. Thank you.
Man. I do like Cammy in this game. The thing is, like, playing Cammy in this game is, like, super fun.
I really do too. Right.
It's, like, really easy and fun.
Honestly, I tried playing Cammy, and I'm like, how do people play her? She's so boring.
Yeah, I can understand that. But I think that this is something I talked about a while ago, and I know we have like a couple other things we want to talk about here.
For sure.
Which, by the way, mistake on podcast mistake number 1. Check with the person who you're talking to of how long they can talk for. Are you under any time constraints right now?
Oh no, I'm good. The only thing I need to do is just make dinner. That's it.
Because typically I like to go for like an hour, but last week's lasted for 2 hours because Mark doesn't fucking shut up. But that's on him, and I know he's probably not going to make it this far into this podcast. Anyway, hi Mark.
Hi.
Hi Mark. By the way, but I had a thought about Street Fighter V. And feel free to disagree or agree with its opinion.
For sure.
Learning a character in this video game is fairly easy, from just the basics of like what their combos are, what their Oki is, just getting a general feel, their anti-airs, getting all of that, fairly easy to do. But being competently competitive with that character is like excruciatingly punishing because of all of the specifics that you need to know to like get that just right punish or get that optimal damage or get that specific reset that works against this one character. Or I feel like the specifics here are so niche to each character that learning all of that to be very good at this game actually is very hard. Like, well outside of just learning how a character controls, it's just how a character owns, I suppose, is difficult. Feel free to agree or disagree with that. I might be the only one with that opinion.
I do agree that Street Fighter V is a lot easier if I were to compare it to Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 is my very first game, and I guess you can say that since it was my first game, it was a lot harder for me because I had to learn all of the mechanics. I had to learn how to do combos. I had to build up my muscle memory as well.
Combos were harder in that game.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And honestly, just props to people who are extremely skilled in Street Fighter 4 because that shit was super freaking hard.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
People doing run stop loops just fucking blow my mind.
And you got those red FADC combos as well. Oh my gosh, it was just awesome just seeing those people play at that level. But I will have to say, yeah, Street Fighter 5 is a lot easier, and you can literally play, like, start out with Ryu, kind of go with the basics and see what you can do, and you can also venture out to other characters as well. Because this person, he asked me, like, hey, I'm getting into Street Fighter, which characters should I learn? And this was before Cammy got buffed, all right? So I told him to play Cammy because I thought Cammy was a really good starter character. She was really fun. She was really fun. She could do this. She could do a lot of really cool stuff, especially since you're a beginner in the game.
Yeah, she's easy to learn. She has good damage. The only thing that I typically warn new players with Cammy is that she just has low health. So they'll end up dying. If they're like a brand new player, they'll end up dying before they end up implementing the things that they've tried to learn, like in practice. But that's like the only thing. Other than that, she's very good.
Right. No, most definitely. I totally understand. Yeah, because, you know, in Street Fighter 5, there isn't any FADC combos. Like, of course, FADC combos, you want the optimal punish and you want to be fancy, you know? But in Street Fighter 5, you already got the meter, you already got all these, you know, crush counters, you have all these very easy strings, you know what I mean?
Right.
I really don't know how to put it, but...
The combo pathway is pretty typical per each character. It's usually two buttons into a special. You got
like a target combo, right.
Yeah, you might cancel those two buttons into a V trigger or one button into a V trigger and then continue it with a dash into a combo or something timed specifically that way. Granted, there are outliers here. There's Manots, there's Urians, where the combo paths are very varied. Very varied? Is that good English?
No, I know what you mean.
That's bad English. Very varied.
No, but
it's great English. All right, fuck you guys.
You're good.
No, there are but the thing is, I think that those characters are outliers, where most of it is medium, or like light, special, heavy into light, or heavy into medium special. It's very typical. There's not a lot of variation there. And that's why it's easy to learn. Okay, let's get back to... So we're still on the introduction phase. So I've got Mahreen with me. That's fun. We had all these notes down, and we didn't fully run it down. So tell me about your local scene. Tell me about Minnesota.
Let's see. Minnesota. So... all I can say is that it feels very homey. It feels like you're at home, you know? I really like our local scene just because it's a decent size. You know everyone. And you know, like, if someone starts shit, you know that you can square up and you know who they are. I really like it a lot because we have a growing Tekken scene actually, and it's really nice to see that because
Yeah, the
I
slow
love
burn
Tekken.
on Tekken has been very satisfactory in my opinion. It's
Most
only getting
definitely.
better.
It's such a good game too.
It's
I
so
love
good.
Tekken.
It's so good.
And then we still have the Street Fighter V scene. I would say for our local tournaments, we get about 30 people for Street Fighter V, 30 people ish or more for Tekken. Like I said, Tekken is growing.
Mhm.
And then about like 20 to 25 people for DBZ. And for the anime games, I would say around 20 people or so.
For the air dashers, for your bathroom brawlers out there, for your French bed.
Yeah. The anime tournaments only happen in the bathrooms.
And they don't, yeah, that's where that's their temple.
Yep, their
According
temple.
to Corey Gaming, which by the way, I don't think we're going to talk about that at this point, but y'all should watch that Corey Gaming. What does it mean to be like a member of the FGC video? What's the name of it? I wrote it down.
It's
Need for community. Need for community. Which is I bring that up also because oddly enough, this was like the third time that I've watched a YouTube video that mentioned Martin Luther and the reform of Christianity. Very strange that was just. I don't know what the algorithm is trying to tell me, but fucking bounce with the Lutherans. What's good? Hey, we got other stuff though. Tell me more. Is there more about Minnesota? I saw the Minnesota State Fair from many of the Minnesota players, and particularly some of the food that you ate. And by God,
I know Minnesota State Fair food is OD, my dude.
Can't even fucking believe that shit. I'm seeing things that I've never seen in my life.
Yeah, like I really want people to come to Minnesota and come to Minnesota in the summer because in my honest opinion, we have the best summers ever. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right, and it's always nice. But yeah, the Minnesota State Fair, every year we get a set of new foods that they serve. So they had like a cream soda, like